Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Ellie and today I'm doing a bit of a knit with me video. So I found this wool in Hobbycraft and it's the Knitcraft Disco Daydream Chunky in this lovely ice blue shade, and it's got some really nice silver sparkles in it. I'll show a little close up so that you can see. And I had the idea to make like an oversized vest that I could wear over like a long sleeve top or long sleeve dress or something, so I thought I'd take you along the process with me. I've done a little gauge swatch already and I've decided to do it on 10mm needles, which is a lot larger size than the recommended, but I wanted kind of the looser knit look. With like larger gaps between the stitches. So what I'm going to do is use my gauge swatch to calculate how big I need the piece to be. So this is what my gauge swatch looks like. I decided to do 20 stitches, and then what you want to do with the gauge swatch is measure it across, then you divide the number of stitches by this measurement, and then you can times it by what measurement you want your piece to be. So for me, I'm doing it a circumference, and I might add on about 10 stitches maybe, just for an extra oversized look. So I have got some circular needles to work with. So these are 10mm knitting needles with an 80cm cable around them. So we're going to get started. I'm going to cast on 110 stitches. What I'm going to do is work in the round in stockinette stitch, and then once I get to where I want to split into the armholes, I'm going to work half at a time, the front and the back, and then connect them at the shoulders. So I will come back to you once I've cast on my stitches. So I've cast on my 110 stitches. I've done my first row as well, and I decided to do one row of purl before I get into the stockinette stitch, just to give a little bit of edging around the bottom. So what I'll do is I will do a few more rows to go from the waist up to just under the arms, and then I'll come back to you. I've got quite a long train journey to go on tomorrow, so I think this is going to be my travel project, and then I'll come back to you and show you a bit more progress. So I'm back after having completed the underarm to waist section. I ended up adding 24 rows of plain stockinette stitch, and this is how much yarn I have left of my first skein, so it's going quite a long way to say that they were only 50g skeins. So I'm hoping that I should be able to finish the rest of my project with just the one other skein that I have already. What I'm going to do now that I've got my bottom piece is to split the armholes. I'm going to start working on straight needles. I'm going to hold half of my stitches in my round, just probably temporarily on the circular needles, and I might use some yarn or maybe get some try-on tubes to hold the rest, and I'm going to work back and forth rows on the other half. So because I'll be moving on to straight rows, I'll need to do knit on one side and purl on the other side. So yeah, let's get started on making a few of those rows. So now I have half my stitches on my straight needle and the other half are left held on the circular needles. I think I will move them onto something else because they are getting a little bit cumbersome at the moment. I did swap onto a different needle than the one I showed because I realised that that one was actually the wrong size. So yeah, these are the ones I'm working on. But to start this row, I decided to go back on myself and start with a purl row, working on the inside. So now I'm going to go back and do my knitting rows, and then I'll carry on from there and update you once we've got a little bit more length up to the shoulders. So I've now added the rows for the top up to the shoulders. So I added another 36 rows of stockinette stitch, and I'm finally onto my second ball of wool. I only just got to the end of the first one here, so in the last few rows that I've done, so it's gone a really long way, which I'm glad that I won't have to get another one, I'm hoping. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add, similar to the end, I'm going to add a row of knitting on the purl side to make a couple of rows of garter for the neckline, but I'm going to decide how many stitches I want for the shoulders, so I will keep them in stockinette and so that the edge is just around the neckline and not across the shoulders as well. I think I'm gonna go for 11 stitches for each shoulder. If you were following along with this project, it would obviously depend on how wide you want the neckline, how broad you've gone across the shoulders, type of yarn you've used, of course. So I'm going to try 11 and hopefully that looks right. So I'm on my purl side, so I'm going to purl 11. Hoping that's going to be broad enough. I am thinking as well, when I cast off, it'll give me some leeway if it's a little bit tight. So yeah, I'm going to knit for the rest of it to make that garter effect for the edge, and then do my 11 purl again at the end. So here you can see where the difference is. You can see the lines across here which make the garter stitch, which is the back of the knitting. So what I'm going to do now is cast off, and I'm going to do that knitwise to contribute a bit to that garter stitch down the middle, and hopefully that should be my neatest look for casting off as well. So to cast off, I knit 2 stitches and then I loop the first one over the second, and that casts it off. And then to continue on, I knit 1 more, I pull the original loop over the new loop, and so on and so forth until I get to the end. So once I've got to my last stitch, I will just have 1 loop left on the needle, so I can remove my needles. I'm going to just break my yarn, but you can cut it if you're using yarn that's not breakable, and then I'm just going to pull the loop free. So I'm pulling the end through the loop, kind of. So yeah, all of my stitches are now released. So this is what the top looks like. You can see up close here the garter stitch here and how it differs from the stockinette on the shoulders. So there is the front or back of my work, because I'm planning on doing the exact same on the back, so it will be completely the same on each side, reversible. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up the stitches that I have held on this yarn onto my needle again, and I'm going to do the same process on the other side. So another 36 rows, my garter stitch row, and then my cast off. So I'll join you once I have completed all that, and we'll do a bit of seaming on the shoulders. So I'm back, I've finished all the knitting now and I've cast off both sides. So all that's left to do is seam the shoulders. Don't have to seam the sides because we did that as part of the piece, which is nice because it's made this a real quick project, and I think I'm not the only one who doesn't particularly enjoy seaming. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the 11 stitches that I made at each side. I'm going to crochet for the seams. I like to do slip stitches, so I'm going to turn my piece inside out. and then I will attach the yarn on the outside corner and make some slip stitches across. So I'm putting my crochet hook through both sides and then pulling up a loop and pulling the loop through. And I'm just going along where I want to seam. The yarn is a bit fuzzy, so it is a little bit awkward to see the stitches, but we're getting there with it. So there's my seam. Here's what it looks like on the inside. So this is where I crocheted. You can see like a little ridge across there, and then this is what it will look like on the right side. So I just think it looks a little bit neater. It's a bit flatter than that side. Yeah, so that's why I seamed with it inside out, which is pretty common practice. But yeah, I'm gonna go and do the other side and then we'll try it on just to see how it looks before we block it. So here's how it looks before I've blocked it. I'm hoping that the shoulders will relax a bit, and obviously that the bottom will stop curling as much and the stitches will be even, and I think it'll help that oversized fit that I was going for. I need to weave in my ends before I block it, but I'm going to do that off camera because I don't really know how to do it yet. But yeah, I'll show you again how it looks properly, and obviously it's meant to be worn over something is what my intention was with it. But I guess if you're making something like this, you could make it a tighter fit one to use it more as a top. Maybe we could try doing that in another video. But yeah, rambling on, I'll go and block this and then we'll see how it looks in the finished product. Hopefully it looks okay. So it's the next day, it's all blocked, all dry, and here's how the finished product looks. I'm really happy with it. This is pretty much how I was hoping it would turn out, and I think the blocking has really helped with that. It's obviously at the bottom is not curling up as much. It's a bit more relaxed fit, it's flowing a bit nicer. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's nice oversized layering piece, which is what I was hoping. I really like the yarn. I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's got a really lovely sparkle to it. Yeah, I'm super excited about how this turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, and this is how much yarn I had left. So 2 50-gram balls has gone more than enough for what I needed. I think it did help that I was using 10mm needles, even though this is 6mm gauge. Again, this is from Hobbycraft if you like the look of it, and not all sponsored. I will say I don't think it would be great for crochet because it is a little bit fluffy. But yeah, I'm really happy with the finished product. Let me know what you think in the comments and if there's anything else you'd like to see. I had an idea to maybe try using some super chunky yarn, which is, I have this which I've had sitting around for a while, wondering what to do with. Or maybe we could see if we could make another version of this. Maybe we could do a challenge, see if we could make it all in one day, because this was a super quick project to make up. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Let me know what you think. Bye everyone.